You are here because the outside world rejects you.
Okay, so I have been doing a little bit of an experiment with my corn snake here. More importantly, with the setup of how I set up this corn snake. Now, most people, including myself, often use rack systems, and I'm totally fine with that. You know, they work, they do what they're supposed to, and I don't really see any harm in that. However, I have a little bit more space because I have less animals, and I wanted to try setting up my corn snake in something different. Overall, the ideal was to see how he would behave in a naturalistic setup, but more importantly, I wanted to give him vertical space, and I wanted to see, one, how he utilized that vertical space, and the other thing is there's another behavior. There's two behaviors that I wanted to witness, or hopefully I witnessed. Climbing, which is pretty common for these guys. Now, most people who keep them in a more horizontal type setup, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to play around with a vertical setup, and it's probably because my interest lately has been into green tree pythons and other tree snakes. So that's probably where this ideal to give this a try has grown from. Now, in the wild, corn snakes are known to climb trees, and so I figured that if I get the snake a vertical setup, that the snake would utilize it. Did I expect it to perch like a green tree python, you know, with its coils wrapped around? No, that's not what I was expecting, but I figured he would use the vertical space. The other thing I was interested in capturing, the behavior I was interested in capturing, is I have seen photos and probably some videos of wild rat snakes eating like birds, or in like in people's little bird feeders or bird nests, and anyways, you know, so they're catching them while they're taking advantage of vertical space. So I wanted to see how my corn snake would handle, one, the vertical space, how he would just utilize it, and two, I wanted to see if he too would hunt in that vertical space. Now, I'm not giving it birds or anything like that. I am sticking to the rodent diet, but I'm just going to offer it higher up in the cage and see what happens. And I'm going to roll some video of that here real quick, but I think what I captured was actually really cool, so I wanted to share that with you guys, share the update of the setup and just how well he's doing in it. Now, obviously, he is going to outgrow the setup. This, again, is just an experiment. I wanted to do a test to that way I can figure out his future caging, whether I was going to stick with the tried and true horizontal horizontal setup, or if I was going to incorporate a little bit more vertical space in his next enclosure. So that's what this little experiment was about. So let's take a look at this feeding footage that I captured.
Okay, so we can clearly see that the snake will take the meal inside this new vertical setup. Although I had been feeding the snake in the tub that I had previously kept it in, just because I wanted to make certain that it was eating. And then this is the third time after moving it out of there into this setup that I tried feeding inside the enclosure, because I really wanted to capture, or hope to capture, footage of the corn snake eating pretty much similar to like any tree snake does. And you know, much to my delight, he did show us that he could do it. Now he's just you can see that he's kind of resting on those plants back there, but they're really not giving him much support. if he really were to put his weight on there, he'd probably just kind of fall through there. But as you can see, he's actually doing a pretty good job at slowly working this mouse down his throat, despite the fact that he's having to fight gravity, and he's never had to eat a meal like this before. So it was pretty cool to watch. So I did end up speeding up this footage because it possibly had taken him a little bit longer to, finish this meal than otherwise. So, but nonetheless, I mean, it's not sped up that much more. So it wasn't like what might have taken him 5 minutes to eat, took him an hour. It wasn't anything that dramatic, but it was a little bit more work for him. But I mean, nothing that was harmful toward him. So I just thought it was a nice, natural behavior to witness, and I'm not necessarily going to feed him like this every single time. We'll give him a break from time to time, and feed him on the ground. But again, this was just an experiment. I wanted to see how much of the natural instinct that I could kind of witness in a captive setting. Alright, and there we go. The meal is down. Quite successful, I'd say. And we're probably going to get the little after meal yawn coming here to really signify. There it is. So I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you found this entertaining. If so, leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think.
Shut up and sit down.